Hey, yo. Welcome everybody to Chris, your head's really big. I need to get closer to my camera like you.
Well, my head is just really big.
I'm just talking about depth of frame and all of that kind of stuff. Either way, hey, it's me, it's Gabe, that's Chris. Welcome to Cover Price Shakers of the Week. Yep, that's right. This week's rarest and most surprising sales, aka the Ultra Abyss, aka my favorite show of the week, aka Happy Friday Eve, aka I don't know. I'm just going on and on. I'm just freestyling here. Either way, Chris, tell everybody what's going on, man. How you been?
I've been good. Busy week. It just kind of flew by again. But there's a lot of things going on at work, so I'm keeping busy, and my school stuff's going. I am just like racing through my master's program, man. I'm so excited. I got the green light from my professor to submit a paper to like this big conference, and I don't know. I could be like a published thought leader in AI. That's
cool,
like on the horizon. It's crazy.
Well, congratulations, man. Good for you.
Nerd talks about comics, and they're going to do that. So
hey, AI is here, and it's here to stay. One way or the other, man. So,
but it's really cool. And hey, like you said, for Abyss this week, Shakers list. This list is compiled for nerdy people like me who love data because it goes out. CovrPrice goes out and they grab the data from heritage auctions and eBay and other sales platforms, and they pull it in, and like there's no agenda. That's one of the great things about this show. We're not like pushing our inventory. Right?
No.
You watch other shows, like other YouTube shows. I'm not going to name names, but some of them are like, hey, you know what? This is selling pretty well, and I have 8 of them on my eBay store, right? We're not
by
doing
coincidence, right?
This is all raw data. This is data from last week's sales, so we're not speculating what's coming in the future, although we do talk about it a little bit. But this is that raw data that.
Right.
Stuff that there's going to be, like, you could have like a Gantt chart and Venn diagram and histogram and bars and stuff like that, and all the numbers, and give it to me now. I love it. It's good stuff.
Wow. Do you need a towel, Chris? You're super excited. But no, you're absolutely correct, man. I'll co-sign that. This information is just data, right? And that's basically everything on CovrPrice, right? Whether the top 10 list is the same way, that's all sales data driven from aftermarket sales. The Shaker show is like that. New comic book day is just new comic book day. There's really nothing there. So yeah, it's not us trying to convince anybody of anything. It's just, I don't know if the word reporting is the right way, but it's just us having a conversation about interesting sales. And that's the entire show. That's the entire channel in general.
We have aggregated interesting comic information for collectors, and we are presenting it to you.
There's no fugazi stuff around here. There's no like, oh, well, this creator is really hot right now, so maybe we should bump his book up a little bit more. That doesn't happen, even though behind the scenes, CovrPrice has mentioned, situations like that, which they haven't, they're, nope, that's not what we're about. That's not how it works. Because that's how at one point, more or less.
No, I think you're right.
Allegedly, that's how Wizard ran the price guys at certain points too.
Yeah, I think the Wizard Top 10 magazine was guilty of that. I can be comfortable with that. They definitely highlighted the things that they felt would help their friends. But
this creator bought about $40,000 worth of ads. Oh, and his book is in the top 10.
Yeah.
Or he is the top 10 artist. Yeah. It works. Whatever.
But we got the real data here. Okay. Right. We got the real data here.
Yeah, it's different now because, like you said, there's a lot of pushy YouTube show. And
Pushers.
Yeah.
First hit's free.
Your first taste is free. Come back, steal your mama's welfare check, and come get some comic books. No.
Speaking of first taste free, you can get a free 1 week subscription to Cover Price. All you gotta do is fill out the form.
Yep. There's no spec here. I mean, you and I might throw out our opinion, but it's known as an opinion. It's not what Cover Price is generating whatsoever. Either way, we got a great top 10. We got a great list of shakers. Make sure you stick around, everybody, because after we go through the shakers, we go through, which is my absolute favorite part of the week. This is my favorite show, but the favorite part of it is because of the What's Shaking segment, where we kind of go through and see other really fun, interesting sales, high sales. We read the tea leaves a little bit. We kind of throw out our opinions on why is this happening? Why is this book selling for so much? Oh, another Bronze Age 9/8 selling for over 1,000. Interesting, right?
Yeah, so I wonder why Masters of the Universe is getting so much attention right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, hey, this thing happened. Oh, we were talking about that on the Shakers list like a month ago.
That's right.
Very fun, very fun. Stick around here, guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We got all of our regulars. If you're a regular, you know the deal. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, and let's just 5 sheets to the wind, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's get started on the Shakers list. Let's roll.
What's shaking YouTube tonight? Welcome to Lords of Longbox Suspense and Cover Price Comic Book Shakers of the Week.
There we go. So, first one on the list. You're going first. You said it, right, Chris?
Yep.
Because it is just me and you today. Marty has something going on.
Yep.
Laura has something going on. Yep. I sent out smoke screens to the rest of the group. Everybody's got stuff going on, which is fine. It's Thursday night. There's basketball on and stuff like that. So, what do you got
the first shaker on this list is Artifacts number 40. Remember that these are, I believe, alphabetical, right? That's the order that they go in? Yeah, it is.
I believe it is alphabetical, or is it by price?
No, I think it's alphabetical.
Okay.
So we got shaker number 1. We got Artifacts number 40. This comic is wild. I can't tell you how many times I have bought copies of Artifact thinking that maybe someday they'll jump up in value, only for them to sit in the dust bins forever. But we got Artifact number 40 by Image Comics in 2014. This is a Ron Mars and Steve Fox project, and this cover art was done by Stefan Sajek. Artifact was a Image Top Cow publication this started in 2010. The series focused on various relics and mystical artifacts from the Top Cow universe, such as the Witchblade and the Darkness. Yep. The series ran for 40 issues and ended in 2014. The final few issues of the series had very low order numbers, and the distribution level had become increasingly more difficult to find year after year, and as these books hit the stands. The final issue was by far the most difficult one, and also featured the incredible cover by Stefan Sajek featuring Witchblade. This book has been a sub $10 book up until this last December, when a copy sold for $105. You may have thought that was an anomaly, but as we know now, this book is getting attention and pulling the dollars. On January 18th, a very fine raw copy sold for $114. While this book may be tough to find, be sure to scour those local back issue bins when you're at your comic book shop, because you can find Artifact in those long boxes, and sometimes you can get them for just $1.
Yeah, I mean, wow, man. I did not realize that Artifacts went for 40 issues. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I was interested in Artifacts because I do like Witchblade and I do like Darkness, as a hobbyist. Like, I'm not really that deep into the lore of those two characters, but I was interested in Artifacts because this is the story that was supposed to let you know what their connection is with the Darkness and with the Witchblade. And I think there was like a third relic as well. I didn't realize this series went for 40 issues. That's interesting. That's so cool.
And you know what? I think that's part of the issue, right? That's part of the problem is that nobody really realized that it went for 40 issues. Yeah, I run across Artifact all the time in the long boxes, and sometimes I'll grab them if the cover's neat. But I'm gonna have to specifically look for 35 through 40 because if those are all low print runs, then I think it's worth grabbing and holding on to, because it's not like more of these are out there. I think that this is a really good hint that you should be paying attention when you're digging through those long boxes.
Yeah, and another thing too is because I've looked into trying to get the like the trade paperbacks. I didn't realize there were so many of them, but a lot of them are out of print, and those are really expensive too, which I think also contributes to like the singles issues being so sought after and pricey as well.
Yep.
If you want to read the book, you got to pay the price, man. You got to pay the piper for these things sometimes.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So first shakers, man. Look at that. Artifacts number 40. Image Comics 2014. $114 for a very fine copy. Wow. Very, very neat. Very neat. All right. Coming up, number 2. There we go. Just too many buttons right now. Number 2 is a DC 100 Spectacular. Excuse me. DC 100 page Super Spectacular number 4. All right. Writer on this was John Broom. Interior art by Mort Drucker. Nick Cardy. Oh, I love Nick Cardy stuff. Mort Miskin. Jim Mooney. Carmine Infantino. Frank Giacola. John Percent. Lou Cameron. Leonard Starr, and the cover art by legendary Bernie Wrightson. As Golden Age pre-code horror comic books become more and more out of economic reach for mere mortal collectors, we have seen a big surge in the sales of Bronze Age horror comic books. The irony, of course, is as more collectors look to purchase Bronze Age horror comics, the overall value of comics from this era is starting to surge. Many of the more iconic and important comic book artists of the 1980s lent their artistic talents to the covers from this era, including Neil Adams, Bernie Wrightson, Mike Kaluta, Mike Mignola, and Jack Davis, to name a few. While both DC and Marvel created many fabulous horror tales during this period, a handful of specific issues seem to always be at the forefront of desirability. One such comic is DC 100-page Super Spectacular number 4. This Bernie Wrightson cover is absolutely stunning, featuring a crouching creature over the top of a body tied down on a pentagram, with candles burning. Sounds like my weekend. The all-black background juxtaposed against Wrightson's use of color, shading, and depth makes this cover one of the standout issues. From the early 1970s, being a thicker 100-page format issue only adds to the difficulty of finding one in high grade. Yeah, watch out for those spine splits, everybody. Although always demanding a premium, it came as a shock this week when a CGC 9.0 copy sold for an astounding $3,600. For perspective, a CGC 8.5 sold for just $1,500 1 month ago. Those are some serious gains in such a short period of time. Considering copies exist in CGC 9.2, 9.4, and 9.6, we'll love to see what any of these might command if and when they become available. Wow.
Yeah. What's really interesting about the DC 100 page Super Spectacular, I don't know why, but it starts with number 4. And I did some research prior to the show, and I couldn't figure out what 1 through 3 is supposed to be. It's not DC Supergiant. It's not DC Special. I don't know why it starts with 4, but this is technically the first one of the series. And you also, the second one, or number 5, is the love story cover, which is also a very hard to find and valuable comic. These were all square bounds, and they were a little bit pricey for their time, meaning that they may not have sold as well. Because 1971, this is when comics were 20 cents.
20 cents, 1971. Okay, and this is a 50-cent book, so it's like almost triple the price.
Right. A 9.0 in this is pretty crazy. I have this. I do have this one, so this puts me on the list, but mine is in pretty beat condition, if I remember correctly. I think that mine's probably like a 6. I'm not going to make a 6-7 joke. It's not going to happen. But it's like a 6.5, I would say.
6.57.
Oh God. But yeah. So I've got this. This does put me on the list, and I don't know why number 4 is considered the first one. Anybody in chat can figure that out? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to figure it out.
It says weird mystery tales, but those are usually just like anthology titles or something. But
yeah. So I mean, the DC 100. Each of them were like a different. Like number 7 is Superman, and number 8 is Batman, and
it was an anthology series. These 100 pages. There's another one that was like Jonah Hex one, I believe, too. Where, the issue where he dies is like 100-page super spectacular special, I think. But yeah,
well, they started after 1973. They started having 100-page specials that were in the main line for the comic. So the Jonah Hex one that you're talking about was a mainline one. It wasn't a DC 100 super spectacular. It was just a Jonah Hex
special,
100-page special.
But it is interesting though that it makes sense where Golden Age horror is basically unobtainable. Like really hard. You can get them if you're not too particular or stingy about the condition and stuff like that. You can get them, but you're not getting like the greats. Even in like weak condition, you're paying crazy money for it. So that spotlight is getting shined more on the Bronze Age horror stuff, which is just as cool. I mean, it might have the comics code on it and stuff like that, so it doesn't quite have that panache of pre-code. But again, you got Bernie Wrightson, you got Neil Adams, you got Mike Mignola, you got Mike Kaluta, you got all these like mega stars doing fantastic stuff under the guise of DC Comics. So very cool. That's what happens a lot. Something starts getting unattainable, people kind of just merge over to the next best thing a lot of times. So
and a 9.0 in a square bound with the staples that they used to put in these things. Wow, that must look gorgeous.
Yeah, good luck getting that stuff, man. You're hurting if you think with the A, not only is it square bound, B, it's a all black cover, C, it's the staples in these things pop when you open them. F, people just read them, they didn't collect them, they read them till they fell apart. Some kid in the back seat of a car on a long car ride, or whatever the case might be, at the beach, eating pizza, just getting it all sloppy. These things were loved. And that's cool. Dude, there's a 9.6 apparently too, from what CovrPrice was saying. Yeah, there's it's all the 9s besides the 9.8. There's 9, there's 9.2, there's 9.4, 9.6. So, man, if anybody out there is watching, you got that 9.6. Man, I test the waters, man, and see if you can get yourself like $8,000.
$8,000, yeah. I was just about to say, probably about $8,000.
Yeah, at least that's all I'd ask for. But 9.0 is a 9.0 is 3,600. Yeah, come on. And you're probably the only person out there that has it. There's probably maybe one on the census, if that. Yeah. How cool is that? All right. So yeah, DC 100-page Super Spectacular number 4, top sale for a 9.036 hundo. Chris, what do you got next, bud?
Well, we got Exquisite Corpses number 1. This is the Ivan Tal Gold Secret Virgin variant, 2025 Fan Expo in Dallas. This is the Davis Rider Comics exclusive, limited to 100 by Image Comics in 2025. This specific variant is a true ghost in the market, released as a surprise secret drop by Davis Rider, a prominent whatnot seller and exclusive creator. During the Fan Expo in 2025, this gold virgin exclusive was limited to just 100 copies worldwide. Unlike the standard convention exclusives, which usually have about 500 to 1,000 prints, this book was only available to VIPs or lucky winners of specific claim sales, making it nearly impossible to find in the wild. The series itself, James Typhon's V4 Ives? I don't know.
James Tinian the fourth.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's just kind of weird the way it's written there. But okay. The violent battle royal style horror hit about wealthy families sponsoring serial killers has been a massive critical success. However, the value here is almost completely driven by the rarity and the Ivan Tal cover art. Tal is a major draw for variant collectors, known for his polished painterly style, combining his art with a gold foil treatment and a sub 100 print run creates the perfect storm for high dollar sales. Wow, what a beautiful cover this is.
Yeah, man, this is cool cover. You know, I'm not a cover guy, I'm not a cover collector, but I like how exclusive this is. I can see where people are trying to grab it up. Exquisite Corpse is gotten optioned. I mean, like everything else, you know, my dirty underwear gets optioned for a movie, but it's got optioned, so a lot of people are really clamoring and going after these books, and such a really rare variant. This is going to blow up even more, probably. Very neat.
Yeah, I don't want to see the show that your dirty underwear is featured on.
Yeah, right, dude.
Sounds like a WB special to me.
Yeah, Margot Robbie signed on for it all.
But this cover is amazing. Very, very beautiful. I would have to imagine that this is just jaw-dropping in person. I would love to see the foil and the art like that. I am a cover guy, so I'm the other side of the collector spectrum. Although I don't know anything about this story, it does sound interesting, and you know, maybe I'll see if I can find a trade or something like that.
Ferdbird, I have not read it. Chris has not read it, but Lando, Travis, who do the top 10 show, they rave about this book. They say it's fantastic. They're really loving it. There's only 9 issues out now. It stops at 11. There's a lot of cool stuff with this book, apparently, with the storyline. It's very battle royale-esque, you know, where I guess it's kind of like a slaughter, you know, Hunger Game kind of thing as well. So it sounds like a cool book. Like Chris said, I'm going to pick up the trade paperback when it comes out. When those 11 issues come out, I'll read the whole thing together. Kicking myself, I didn't get it when it first came out because it's a James Tinian book, and I got bats 1,000, so feel bad I didn't check it out in issues, but I'll get the trade paperback or hardcover.
Yeah, I think they're up to 13 issues now, actually.
Is it 13? Oh, okay. Yeah. We were talking about it the other day, and they kept saying 11, but all right. Either way, it's a limited series or maxi series, whatever you want to call it. So that's gonna be cool.
Hey, Gabe, very cool. Next book is right up your alley.
Yeah,
we talk about all the time.
Let's see what we got. Oh, we always talking about G.I. Joe on this list. Speaking of up your alley,
God.
G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 255. This is a Harvey Talibo cover B from IDW in 2018. Writer, there's only one writer for G.I. Joe, and that's Larry Hama. Interior art by Harvey Talbot, and cover art also by Harvey Talbot. With the launch of the Energon universe, Skybound has redefined what's possible for both G.I. Joe and Transformers, setting a bold new standard in these franchises. We haven't seen as much of a shift with earlier G.I. Joe titles. However, there has been an increase in G.I. Joe, especially with his hard to find variants. For collectors, most will agree that out of the main cast of characters, Scarlet is probably the most sought after when it comes to G.I. Joe wishlist. To attest to this, a raw copy recently hit the aftermarket, selling for an all-time high of $219. Notably, this sale is nearly $100 higher than the previous 1 in 25 at $125, and about $50 higher than the highest graded 9/8 sale, which was $170. Typically, when we see a head-scratching number like this, it's more than likely a die-hard collector who needed this final book to complete their run. On a side note, this is also the first and last time that Talbot worked on G.I. Joe. So, yeah, there's that too. Interesting. I wonder why he only did this one book.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But we've talked about this all the time, man, on this show. Yep. It's a IDW book. It's a franchise. It's a B cover or like a ratio.
Yep.
These things are always they come out of the woodwork and they're ridiculously priced every time.
Yep, every single time. And just if you're digging through the long boxes and you got an IEW, pick it up. Because these go good. When I was at my my antique store / flea market bargain barn place where I pick up all my back issues, I was there this last Saturday. I found a copy of Void Ravels #1, and for it ended up costing me like 50 cents, when you factor in the cost of the short box and everything. This kind of stuff is possible to find. I know this is a ratio. I know that ratios of IDWs back in 2018 were, a bit harder to get your hands on, but you just got to look. You got to look. And
I don't know if this is even a ratio. I think it's just a B cover.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but still,
even still, you just gotta get these things. Hats off to the guy who bought it. He's probably very happy.
I'm sure he is, and hats off to the seller. I'm sure that person is very happy too.
Absolutely,
and it's probably again like. I mean, I'm a broken record and beating a dead horse here, but it's probably a collector who sold it. It's these books go into somebody's long box, and it's basically a black hole. They never see the light of day again. They're basically hostages in somebody's long box in their garage. So great, hey, good for both of them. A collector who maybe needed some money, sold it, and the guy who really needed to complete his collection got it. So it's a win-win. But this is the same thing that happens all the time, bro. All the time. It's always really.
We constantly see it. It seems to be the reoccurring story of the Shakers list.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring up Comic Digger here. The Royal variants are. I love that guy's work. That guy's work is fantastic on these G.I. Joe covers. If you haven't seen them, guys, Google them. They're great covers. Something fun. Those are things like I've never really read G.I. Joe books, but those Royal covers are sweet, dude. They're so cool. And I find them in a long box, find them somewhere cheap, man, I'll pick them up for sure.
So some of the comments in the live comments, best live comments for any show, by the way. Liger is saying that her legs are throwing him off. She's just riding an invisible horse. That's all.
Or she's like in the middle of an explosion or something. Yeah. Very cool. All right. That's Shaker number 4.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got up next, Chris?
At the halfway point, I'll go ahead and do the pitch now, Gabe. If you guys are new to the show, you can hit the subscribe button. We recently passed the 6,000 subscriber mark for Cover Price, which is amazing. And I think that this is, if you guys could do your part and just share it out, and encourage the new members to hit the subscribe button also. I think we can get to 10,000 by the end of the calendar year. That's my goal. So I'm really excited to see that happen. And this is, this is why we do it. We talk about comics. We talk about stuff that we love. So if you could just do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Usually on live shows like this, only about 40%. So I think that's what the statistic is. Only about 40% of live members and the rewind watchers are subscribed. So if you're one of the people who haven't subscribed, do me a favor, hit that button. I'd appreciate it. It helps us out with the algorithm. All right. Shaker number 5, we got Kid Outlaw number 218. This is the 35-cent regional price by Marvel in 1977. This is writer Stan Lee, interior art Jack Kelly, cover art by the legendary Gil Kane. When Marvel raised prices from 25 cents to 30 cents, they proceeded cautiously, testing the increase in 6 markets from April to August in 1976 amid fears of backlash. With these test issues easily identified by the altered price boxes that are usually different colors or a starburst design, once the 30-cent price was accepted, the 25-cent price was permanently phased out. And a year later, in October 1977, Marvel tested a price increase again, going from 30 cents to 35 cents in another 6 markets, possibly only 4 or 5. But this time, the change was far more subtle, keeping the book looking the exact same, but subtly changing 30 cents to 35 cents. That was the only update that happened. The 35-cent variants are quite rare, with books like Star Wars #1 selling for thousands of dollars in raw condition, making these price boxes worth a close look. In this case, a Stan Lee written story about Kid Colt, who is an innocent man forced to live as a criminal, wandering the Old West, helping others while never being able to fully clear his own name, is on the Shaker list. Recently, a 2.0 sold for 1,000 bones. What do you think about that, Gabe?
I think that's crazy. A 2.0 going for $1,000 for just a test, a price variant situation, not a key, not a first appearance, not a historical book, just we're testing this out in 6 markets to see if anybody would be mad situation.
And they usually do this in so if I remember correctly, they did this New York was usually one of their test markets because of high population and higher concentration of wealth. They would also do LA, and then they would also do areas like Atlanta and Chicago.
The dense areas of the 1970s. Yeah,
exactly. So it's interesting. And a lot of people who lived in those big cities still live in those big cities. So if you're a collector in any of those big metropolitan areas, keep an eye out when you go to garage sales and flea markets, because what would otherwise be considered a dollar box book could be worth quite a bit. I have found 30-cent variants over the years because they're really easy to identify. I found them in long boxes for $1. The 35-cent variants, they are a little bit harder to find because the 30-cent variants had a big old block on it, right? You could tell that it was replaced. But like the Reed said, 35 cents is the only thing that's different here as opposed to 30. So just keep an eye out for late 70s 35-cent comics because you may have stumbled across one of those really rare print variants.
Yeah, you can easily stumble across this somewhere, I'm sure. Like you said, like the Reed said, it's not easy to tell. It's not doesn't have the starburst design. It doesn't have where it just the price looks wonky. Like what they would do is they just cut out like a piece of paper that's at 35 and put it on there kind of thing usually.
Yeah.
But not in these cases. It looks real. It looks like that's supposed to be there kind of thing. So and what's fun is always when they about to bump the price, like when they finally do go to like 35 cents, it'll say the last issue before they bump up the price, it'll always say still, 30 cents.
Right.
Still
or only
60 cents.
only,
right? And the next
30
issue will be the price increase. So
Yeah.
always cool. Always funny to see that kind of stuff. You know where it's at, where it's gonna happen. And they're like, hey, look, we're still 30 cents until you finish this book, and then next time it's gonna be 35 cents. So especially on a book like this, I don't know how many people are reading Colt Outlaw. 218 issues is impressive, but I don't know anybody who was adamantly reading or collecting cowboy books anymore. So
well, Colt Outlaw started. I think it spun off from Western Tales, if I remember correctly. I don't think there were 200.
No, there's no Kid Colt #1 kind of thing. That
you know what? It does go back that far. I'm sorry. Kid Colt Outlaw #5 was the first one back in 1949. So I stand corrected. Wow.
Very
it's
cool.
a good thing I have something like CovrPrice to quickly look that up.
Very cool. All right. Cool. So Kid Colt Outlaw 218, 35-cent regional price. $1,000 for a beat up jacked 2.0 copy. Right on. All right. Speaking of beat and jacked up, what do we got?
Gets away from Ringo Barker.
All right. Next up, number 6 on the list, Mark Spears Monsters on the list. Always a nice surprise to see Mark stuff on here. Pops up all the time. Mark Spears Monsters #1. This is the X-Men 141 homage. That was a 1 in 50 variant from Keen Spot Entertainment, 2024. Everything by Mark Spears on this bad boy. He writes it, he does the interior art, and he does the cover art. Mark Spears Monsters has become one of the defining aftermarket stories of the past year. And this 1 in 50 X-Men 141 homage sits at the very top of that rise. When the series debuted in September of 2024, few could have predicted just how quickly Spears' horror universe would take hold. Early sales reflected modest demand, with raw copies changing hands for as little as $38 at release. That window closed almost immediately by January 2025, as monster covers began dominating weekly top 10 lists, and the series proved it was more than a one cover phenomenon, and values exploded. This issue surged to the previous raw high of $750 before finally breaking through with a confirmed $850 raw near mint sale. A staggering increase in just 16 months. What makes this book especially notable is its consistency across formats. The graded ceiling was established in September 2025 when a CGC 9.8 sold for $900. And raw copies are now approaching that level. That kind of convergence is rare and speaks directly to scarcity and sustained demand, rather than just short-term hype. This is a true 1 in 50 retailer incentive released during a period when Monsters orders were still ramping up, resulting in extremely low supply. Combine that with a direct homage to one of the most iconic covers in comic book history, Uncanny X-Men 141, and the appeal becomes undeniable. Add in the fact that Spears handled writing, interior art, and cover duties himself, and this book becomes a pure expression of the creator's vision. Recently, 1 year reflective data shows that Monsters keys with strong homages and early series positioning have maintained or increased value year over year. This cover represents the intersection of all three. It's an early issue, ultra low ratio, and instantly recognizable homage. At this point, Mark Spears' Monsters #1 cover, I, is no longer a speculative play. It has established itself as one of the most important modern horror variants of the decade. And with raw prices now knocking on the door of top graded sales, the market has made its position clear. Wow. $850 for a raw when the 9/8 used to be $900. It's about to take over.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible. I mean, it is X-Men 141 is one of my favorite covers, and probably far and away my favorite X-Men cover. And I love the collecting homages to it. Obviously, Mark Spears, his work is, he's a legend. He's a modern legend, I guess you could say, because of his work is very clean, very awesome, and in high demand. This book is perfect example. Overlooked, underappreciated, and now hard to find.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 50 back when when the orders weren't being crazy like they are today. So this is a great homage. This is cool. I mean, 141 is a great cover, and fortunately, it's not one that has been over homaged in variants like other covers have been sometimes. So this is still cool. It's still unique. It's still fun to see, Hulk 181, Amazing Spider-Man 300. Those things are kind of getting a little tired of seeing. So
I don't know. I love homages. I really do. And especially like when I like it when artists like Mark Spears do homages for their things. There was another one that I forget the name of it, but it's something like The Apocalypse Is Now or something like that had a bunch of really cool homages on it.
X-Men Age of Apocalypse?
No, it was like
X-Men Age of Apocalypse.
It wasn't a Marvel book. It was an indie book, but it had.
Okay. So it was X-Men Age of Apocalypse. Then.
Yeah, that was it. How did you know?
Sweet.
Wow,
it's
so
I knew
weird.
It.
It's like
that's such a good storyline.
Looking at my own collection. My goodness,
it's rad.
This is a cool book.
Very cool, and it's always nice to see Mark Spears on the list. All right, number 7 on the list. What do you got, Chris?
The Real Ghostbusters, number 28. By now, comic in 1990.
Not the Fugazi Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters. The Real Ghostbusters was first published in 1998, 4 years after the original movie dropped in theaters, and was based off of the popular 1980s cartoon series. The first issue of this series featured the first appearance of the Ghostbusters in comic books, and it shot up in value recently as a grade 9.8 sold for over $500 last November. As we know by now, collectors love to scoop up the last issue in a series, as print runs are declining, making it much harder to acquire. What makes this book even harder to find in high grade is the all black cover. I would also say the toilet paper quality as well. Currently, there are only 8 copies on the CGC census, with only one low 9.6 as the highest grade. We've only recorded 2 sales of this book in the past, graded sales of this book in the past, both being a 9.2, which achieved the all-time high of $200 this last week. The last sale for this book in a 9.2 was back in 2023 for $27. So this is an incredible leap for the book. Raw books are going for very cheap. Fair market value for near mint is only $20. Ghostbusters continues to be one of those beloved 1980s franchises that's near and dear to collectors' hearts. It is so good, so it's a good idea to keep your eyes peeled on those long boxes and snag any high-grade copies that you can find. I run across the Now Comics Ghostbuster series all the time in log boxes, and they are always beat to crap. None of them are in good condition. The paper quality was lacking, to say the least. But these are really, really hard to find in good condition. I think I have like 3 copies of Slimer #1 by Now Comics, and all of them the cover is just barely hanging on.
Yeah, man, people read that stuff and they loved it. It wasn't a collector mentality with these franchise books, something based on like a TV show or based on a movie. And again, I'm sure $200 for a 92 for the last issue. We said it before on the G.I. Joe read. It's probably a collector who just needed it to finish his run. Because again, another example of a niche series that has a powerful fan base. Like you see Ghostbuster cosplays all the time. Like anytime you go to like a convention, somebody's out there that has an Ecto one, or you see them walking around with their power packs, and there's always like a group of them too. So
exactly.
there's some big fans out there, man. There's some big fans out there for this kind of stuff. So again, this is another, was it IDW? IDW did some Ghostbusters stuff within the last like 10 years or so, and that stuff gets a little pricey too.
There was Ghostbusters crossover with Ninja Turtles.
Of course.
Those sold pretty well. I actually sold one yesterday for like $12. So but yeah, just a tip to anybody, if you have any of the 90s Now comics in good condition, and they are a franchise like Ghostbusters, there are a couple other ones that Now Comics did, go ahead and send them in to get graded, because really, really low grade populations, and you can easily turn a $20 book into a $200 book, just like we saw with this.
Yeah, I mean, wow, went for 28 issues. Not too bad. Not too shabby. All right. So speaking of Ghost, let's move on to the next book here, number 8, with Red Hood the Hill. Not a ghost. I'm just really bad at transitions either way. All right. So Red Hood the Hill, number 5. This is the Dan Mora cover from DC in 2024. Written by Sean Martinberg. Interior art by Tony Atkins, Matt Herms, Troy Peter, Sean Martinborough. Cover art by the great Dan Mora. Red Hood the Hill is the story following the aftermath of the Joker War, which ended in Batman 100. Readers were treated to a neighborhood-level storyline for Red Hood, focusing on areas outside of Gotham downtown. It was focused on a team of vigilantes and the drastic measures they took to keep their own town safe from crime. This book is the penultimate issue of the series, which ran 6 issues. Jason Todd has spent time in many fields of Batman's lore, from sidekick to villain to anti-hero. His style has also changed throughout the years. This variant cover is another iteration of Red Hood's costume that features him in an outfit similar to Nightwing. Dan Mora artfully uses perspective to give us a cover that jumps off the page. There is so much going on, from explosions to Batman's silhouette and Red Hood wielding a tire iron. Well, if you know, you know. Yet, with all this going on, Mora keeps the focus on Jason Todd and creates a coveted Red Hood collectible. A fan of this cover recently took to the aftermarket to purchase it for a record-breaking $140 for a raw Near Mint Plus. For the past year, this book has stayed around $70 to $80. This latest sale has shaken things up and may even push the price up on those shiny 9/8 copies. Wow. Yeah. I'm always curious when these things happen. I wonder if this is like an auction. Was this a buy it now? Like, how did it get that high? Is kind of my questions, what I'm curious about sometimes.
Yeah, this is interesting. Red Hood is one of those characters that, well, I mean, we saw it last year, right? There was that series that hit #1, and like the same week that it came out, the writer said something that made everybody really upset. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, they got canceled because of it, and DC pulled all the stuff off the shelves. But the crazy thing was that the story was like really powerful. It was a really powerful Red Hood story. And the character development would have really helped the character in the long run. I think that Jason Todd, Red Hood, kind of gets the short end of the stick in the Bat family. He's kind of like the brute, dumb jock. That's usually how he's presented in like the video game Arkham series and stuff like that. But that's right. Thank you, Michael Baker. It was one of the writer was cheering on the public assassination of a political figure. But I think that Red Hood just needs a good book, and a good opportunity, and a good writer to really catch on for some longevity, because he seems to be like popping up in different places. And like some of the stuff that's happening in DCKO right now with the night fight series, there's a lot of really good stuff to like about Red Hood. It's a very interesting character, very underutilized, and I'm not surprised that this Dan Mora variant is commanding that top dollar that you're seeing here.
It's a cool cover. I like it a lot. Like, I really like that kind of like Batman popping out of the Batmobile kind of thing in the back. Like, this is a very action packed. Like, this could be like a movie poster kind of thing.
Yeah.
$140. More power to the guy that bought it. Good for you. That's you know me. That's gonna be like, I'd rather get a Silver Age book for something like that. But still, that's really cool. This is interesting. I think Red Hood's a cool character. I think he might just be overused. Like, he's in everything. He's always popping up. He's had like, I could think of like 3, maybe 4 ongoing series. Not at the same time, but like they stop and start over again and stuff like that. I think they might just need to kind of put him on the back burner for a little bit, or kill him. Or something.
Well, I mean,
keep them out. It's funny, it's like Deadpool or other characters. You get a little oversaturated, and you got to like, just, you eat, you eat the same meal every day. Leave it alone, come back to it, and then it's fresh again, right?
So I really wish that they would give him an opportunity like they gave Nightwing, right? With the whole Bloodhaven thing, Nightwing leaves Gotham. He's in a different city, doing his own thing there. I think that if Red Hood were to be given that opportunity from a writing perspective, it would really help the character. I don't want to separate him from the Bat family, but I think a little distance could help the character development.
Yeah, because he's always going to be under Batman's shadow, and that's that's gonna, like you said, that's kind of what helped Nightwing, is he kind of took off on his own, got his own series. That series ran for a while, like 170 plus issues or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
right on. And those things sell on eBay a lot, man. I sell a lot of Nightwing issues.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's like the most frequent sales for me are Batman, Nightwing, Ghost Rider. Those 3 titles just seem to sell like crazy.
Yeah, and it's that original 90s Nightwing series. Like, people love that stuff. It's a good series. It's fun. It's all done by the same writer and like the same artist for like a long stretch. Like, it's all him. It's all Chuck Dixon for the most part too. So either way, let's go ahead and so this is Red Hood, The Hill, #5, Dan Mora variant, $140 for a raw copy, man. Congrats to everybody involved with this sale as well. Very cool. All right, next up on the list. Let's see.
This is a weird one. By Vertigo Comics in 2015, we have Twilight Children #1. This is the Darren Cook New York Comic Con giveaway variant, which was limited to 200 pieces. And that sticker price right there, raw near mint, $1,125. Rest in peace, Darwin Cook. About a year before he passed, Cook got together with Gil Hernandez and dropped this series. The release coincided heavily with New York Comic Con 2015, with both Hernandez and Cook appearing to sign copies for fans. But what many missed out on at the time was this rare book giveaway. The only variant book for this issue was a giveaway for those attending one of the numerous signing parties that happened during the con season. Only 200 copies existed, and it was snapped up in a hurry and has lived a hushed existence ever since. Brooklyn, I expect you to say what you need to say in the comment section. Nobody has this damn book. Rarely does it come up for sale on the aftermarket, but recently, one raw copy has. A reported 9.0 near mint raw copy sold recently for $1,000, $1,125, destroying the last near mint sale of a 9.4 for $140. Thank you, New York. Nobody has this damn book. Gabe, you should highlight that comment. This jump is quite extreme for a raw copy, but Darwin Cook fans are out in force as they prepare for the Darwin Cook Absolute Batman Collection out later this year. What a run for a raw copy. And if any of the three CGC graded copies, which are a 9.8, a 9.4, and a 9.2, if they ever hit the market, it might soar even higher. You too can have your comments highlighted on this show and have inside jokes made with your cooperation by joining us live. And you'll know when we go live because by hitting the bell icon, you'll know when we go live. So what do you think about this? This is I've never heard of this series. I've never seen this comic. I know nothing about it, but $1,100 is pretty wild.
That is wild. These large sales just I'm so shocked by them. It's very crazy. It's awesome to see that there's that kind of money moving in and out of the hobby. But just like Magnus said on here, and it was hilarious, this is the Vertigo restart that only lasted like a couple of months. There was a period where they were putting out these and the Vertigo books are always really cool. Typically, Vertigo's restarting again pretty soon. Dennis Camp has got another cool book coming out. 100 Bullets is coming back out. So Vertigo books are always cool, but it just went under the radar. Gilbert Hernandez, part of the Hernandez Bros, who does fantastic work with him and his brother. And Darwin Cook. We've been seeing Darwin Cook popping up on this list. It might be this list. It might be the top 10, back and forth either way, but Darwin Cook's name, rest in peace, for a wonderful artist, he's popping up more and more. So might want to read the tea leaves, find some of his cool stuff out there, find his earlier work stuff, his Catwoman. I just picked up the little DC compact book, those little $10 trade paperbacks of his Catwoman run that he did with Ed Brubaker, where they totally redesigned the Catwoman costume. So his stuff's out there. It's all beautiful. It's all underappreciated. And it's all stuff that, is starting to command some high dollar stuff, dude. That's really interesting. Really interesting.
So I don't know about you, Gabe, but I am 1 in 9 so far.
I am 0 for 9, but I'll live.
All right. Well, hey, what's number 10?
Number 10 is something that we were talking about like last week. It's so funny,
right?
Seeing this stuff kind of pop up on here. Number 10, we pull up the notes here. I love this cover. This is great. This is Veronica number 28. Dan DeCarlo. This is a newsstand edition from Archie Comics 1993. Writer George Geller, Angelo DeCreer. Interior art Stan Goldberg. And cover artist by Dan DeCarlo. Dirty Dan, I used to call him. Is there anything better than finding a newsstand variant from the mid-90s? If you're a Dan DeCarlo fan, this Veronica variant may bring back some memories. published in the midst of the comic book collapse of 1993. This issue of Veronica was fairly popular when it was first published. But in the last 2 years, thanks to a 2024 reprint, it became a scorching hot book. In the time since that facsimile was released, the original comics, especially this newsstand version, have only gained in value. In 2025, this Veronica number 28 variant set a record for raw and graded sales, with sales for high-grade copies changing hands for several $100s. The most recent sale was for $2,000 for a CGC 9.8. Has now blown the sales out of the water.
Wow. So one of the funniest things about this cover is Reggie and Archie outside, so hot and bothered that they are melting the ice underneath them.
And you got just Veronica inside, just living the good life, swimming around, diving bikinis and all that kind of fun stuff.
With an indoor palm tree also.
Yep. I just love how it looks like Archie's looking in the window, but I don't think he is. I think he's just kind of just salivating, but that's cool.
Yeah. And
last week we were talking about, Archie books and the kind of double entendre and innuendo covers coming up and stuff like that. And
yeah, don't skip out. Don't skip out on those 90s Archie comics. They were very low print runs. The Betty comics, the Archie comics, the Veronica comics. Grab them, and if you can find the newsstands, even better. The Sonic comics, the newsstand Sonic comics, they always demand a premium. There was a couple that I listed today. That were Archie newsstands in the late 90s. They are hard to find, and they do sell pretty well. Not just the bikini covers or the innuendo covers, but just, in general, they're worth picking up because they do get attention. And even the later Archie stuff with the Dan Parent Archies, especially the cosplay covers. Or the Archie horror covers, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can find those Afterlife with Archie stuff. There's some really cool variants as well.
Yeah. Pick up the Archie stuff. It's always fun. It's always cool. You can usually find it pretty cheap. Just gotta watch the aftermarket to see for those big number shifts like this. $2,000 for 9.8. That's pretty damn impressive. I mean, $2,000. We're talking, Hulk 181. That's
you get a low grade Hulk 181 for that.
Yeah. That's no joke. 2,000's a good price.
Yeah, that's real money, man. That's real money for sure. That's someone's rent. For a lot of places. So. Yeah, man. Last week we were talking about Archie and all that stuff, and I fell down a rabbit hole. I was trying to research like keys and first appearances and like historical issues. None of that stuff is listed anywhere. Like CovrPrice doesn't have a lot of it on there. There's not a lot on the internet. Other like apps and stuff like that, they have very little. All I really was able to find were like the double entendre and like the innuendo covers. Yeah, and a lot of those are just. I don't know if somebody just had a stack of some of these covers and was like, this is it, because it's like they're really stretching to make an innuendo happen on somebody. I'm like, it's not like I had to beat off two guys to kind of help you out.
Not all of them are like that. Some of them are.
They're not all like that. A lot of them are just like very like low key. Like I guess, maybe if you squint your eye a little bit, it could be a double entendre or something. Is somebody out there is just pushing some of this stuff that just doesn't make sense. There's a great one out there about buying a pearl necklace, which is a fun double entendre kind of thing. But there's one where it's like, oh, they're driving a car and they're like, oh, it's a double entendre because she's working the clutch. I go, have you never driven a stick shift? Like that's working the clutch. That doesn't mean anything. If she was working the stick, maybe, but working the clutch, that doesn't do anything. Like, that's not a double entendre. What's going on? But there's great stuff out there. There's another one like this. It's Betty #8, where it's Betty underwater in a bikini, and it's a really cool cover. Like, it's not super sexualized or anything like that. I mean, it's her in a bikini, but it's still pretty honest. But it's just a really neat, fun cover as well. Another thing too, like I said, I fell down the rabbit hole on some of this stuff. You can get original artwork for Archie comics for like dirt cheap. Like $100 or less. Wow. There's some that are higher up there. That's especially like some like the early Dan DeCarlo stuff is going to run you like a couple of $100 or $1,000 or stuff like that. But you can get like Dan Parent stuff. You can get what's the other artist that was on here? Give me a second, excuse me. Stan Goldberg stuff for pretty cheap. You can even get some of the Dan DeCarlo stuff for cheap too. It just depends on like what's going on with it. There's even a Archie like comic strip that was out at a time, and I found a bunch of like original art for that too, and that's all like real cheap stuff. It's 3-panel gags. It's really neat and funny and silly and very Archie like goody stuff. But if you're into like original art, or if you're into anything to do with Archie, you could find it for cheap. Issues are cheap. You could find lots of like 10 copies for like $8, like less than $1 a book a lot of times.
Yeah, I always grab them. I got a couple boxes of old Archie stuff, under a quarter cover price, 10 cent, 12 cent covers. I always grab them because I just think they're cool, Some of them are worth money. I do have like Life of Archie #1. I do have that.
Okay. The split life married storyline. Yeah.
But that the really old book. Probably I think that might be the oldest Archie that I have. Archie books are cool. And the only Archie books that you can pass up without having to spend your time looking are the Reader's Digest size ones.
Yeah,
you don't need to waste your time on those at all. None of them are worth anything.
I used to see those in the grocery store all the time as a kid in the checkout lane. Yeah. So don't waste your time on that. But 90s newsstand Archie books in general, Archie as the publishing agent, pick them up, and pretty much any swimsuit or beach cover, go ahead and grab if you can get them for under $1. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Like, there's a lot out there too. There's Archie, there's Veronica. Betty had her own title and stuff like that. Jughead had his own title, and it's like I said earlier. I think the spotlight shifts from stuff, and I think sooner or later there's gonna be a spotlight on Archie stuff. Just because right now there's nobody really cares. Like I said, you can't find key issue, like a list of key issues, or I got a back issue magazine here about Archie back issues from like the 80s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's just not a lot about like, here's the books that you want to get. Here's the ones that matter. First appearances, historical storylines, or anything like that that's really out there.
You're making a really good case for a video essay.
Yeah, actually, I got this back issue magazine from the groovy 70s to the big 80s. Archie comics in the Bronze Age. That stuff just interesting to me. This is the kind of stuff I like to read for fun.
Hey, Comic Drake. Comic Drake, if you're watching, or if any of you guys know Comic Drake, drop this line to him. I'm a fan of your show, Comic Drake. I like watching your video essays. Why not dig deep into the history of Archie comics? I mean, it's a fundamental foundation for comics as they are today.
Yeah, he's been around since the early 40s.
Yeah,
almost as long as Superman and Batman. And that first appearance of his in that Pep 22 is a beast.
Yeah,
that book is like $20,000 in like mid-grade shape. Like, it's a beast of a book, So there is some significance in terms of like value. There's significance in how long it's been going on for. These are characters that, even though no one really reads Archie anymore, or not a lot of people ever really did, it felt like it was all like younger kids and stuff like that, because it's more wholesome. everybody knows who these characters are. Everybody knows the dichotomy of like Betty or Veronica, right? You can bring up that conversation to anybody and have a discussion about who would you pick or what's the idea.
Yeah, it's as synonymous as Ginger or Marianne.
Exactly. I mean, it's a part of the zeitgeist, but there is no. And I wish I had the time and the ability to just do a deep dive and figure out what's important and do a historical kind of outlook myself on it. But like I said, I fell in a hole and I've been digging through this stuff. And it's really kind of fun and interesting. And like I said, original art you can get for like $100.
That's crazy.
Really
I'm gonna
cool.
have to look into that. There were quite a few yo-yo covers that are Archie. Mm-hmm. If I can get some original art yo-yo covers, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I found like original art of like them on the beach, Betty and Veronica on the beach, and those are like $500 pages, right? Yeah. But you can just get like simple gags, simple pages, fun pages that has like, Archie on it, it has Betty on it, it has Jughead on it for like, $100, $150, which is really cool because you can't find original art for that cheap anymore. Like when I first got into original art, like in the late 90s, $100, $200 was like you could get really cool Spider-Man pages and stuff like that. Not anymore, but you can with Archie books. So go out there, guys, take a look at Archie. Next time you see it in a back issue bin, check it out if it's cheap. If you're a dealer or if you're a vendor and you have Archie stuff that you don't bring with you because you don't think people will buy it, take it with you and put it on your table. Table up some Archie stuff and then see what happens. That's my advice.
I agree.
Cool. All right. So with that said, I see, Chris, that you're all set and ready to go for our next segment of the night with the Shakers, with the What's Shaking, everybody.
Yeah, and hey, while we're pulling this up, it just came across my phone that Governor of Virginia just declared a state of emergency for the snow that's incoming. So if you guys are in the greater DC area like I am, or if you're in that path for the purple snow block coming this weekend, please be prepared. Don't go into this weekend without extra bottles of water, a generator, gas, lanterns, that kind of stuff, because we're expecting a lot of snow. I know, Gabe, in Nevada, you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff, but 2 feet of snow doesn't sound like a lot, but there's just not that infrastructure here to handle that. So, guys, be careful. Don't get caught out in it, okay? All right. So here we go. Daily Shakers list. And here on the top row, we got Ninja Turtles is number 1. Which print is this? This is the first print? That's awesome.
For $11,000, that better be the first print.
Yeah, we have a UK edition for Amazing Spider-Man. We got X-Men number 1. Look at this New York World's Fair Comic Con from 1939. Those
World's Fair things are so cool.
So cool.
And they're always pricey. What is that, like $7,000?
Yeah. The Superman with blonde hair, Zatara, Butch the Pup, Sandman, Ginger Snap. This is
first appearance of Sandman. Okay, There you go. That makes sense.
Of course, Invincible and The Crow, number 1, and then that Neil Adams Batman that we always see on this list.
Invincible books are about to explode, if they're not already. I'm sure they are, like right now on eBay. That trailer for season 4 just dropped.
Yep.
So things like Dinosaurus is going to start exploding. Battle Beast was in the trailer. Like this is a really good this is like the Viltrumite War stuff.
Yeah, this should be
going to be a disaster. This season is so rough. It's going to be rough.
I'm looking forward to it. I've really enjoyed the Invincible series, and I actually got my hands on a bunch of graded Invincible comics, which I just listed, including the last issue of Invincible. So I got that one too.
144. 144,
is it one? It's the one with the daughter on the cover.
Oh, so it's the variant, even cooler. Okay.
Yeah. So I got that and like a 9.4, I think, and I got it for a really good price. So I was excited about that. All Flash Quarterly. That's pretty cool. Here is this another World's Fair comic? It is another World's Fair comic. Wow. Somebody must have dropped their collection because we got 2 high sales within the last week.
I know that the the 1939 one is like the first appearance of Sandman.
Yeah.
Don't care. I don't care. This one here with Batman, Robin, and Superman on the cover is superior.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's rad.
Speaking of Bernie Wrightson, we have House of Secrets, number 92. This is obviously first Swamp Thing, very iconic cover, often homaged also.
Louis Simonson was the model for the woman on the cover.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
She wasn't Louise Simonson at the time. I forgot what her maiden name was, but either way, that's her.
Old Captain America comics, pre-Marvel. This is timely, right? Or Atlas, one of the two. No, it's this summer, or maybe that's, I don't know.
No, that's the summer edition of USA Comics.
But it wasn't Marvel.
No, like you said, it's either Atlas or
timely.
Yeah.
Okay.
40s is probably Atlas, but either way.
Yeah, interesting. First John Stewart. That's
a good book to have right now. $2,500 for a 9.6 is not too shabby. No. You know, somebody spent $2,000 on a Veronica.
Right. Here we got the first appearance of Ahsoka. This has been something that's been popping up repeatedly over the last couple years. This is a book to keep an eye out for sure. I know it's not canon because it's Dark Horse, but it's still first appearance of the character in the comic series, and the character is established in Star Wars lore. So keep an eye out of this one. This is the limited to 100 variant cover.
I like how it says that on the cover. One of 1,000 copies.
The regular cover is still pricey, by the way. $310 for the regular cover. That's no joke.
I remember when that used to be a ridiculously priced book, like
when
that show was coming out, or even before the show was coming out.
I'm trying to highlight ones that we don't get to talk about very often. This is Origin of Doctor Doom and first appearance of Valeria, depending on which version of Valeria.
What this is his love interest, Valeria.
Yeah, love interest, Valeria.
Yeah,
namesake.
That's where he takes her name from when he helps give birth, or he was like a midwife for the birth.
The story of this, the Valeria story, is pretty wild. He sacrifices her for mystical armor.
He uses her skin to make the armor.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I have that issue right here somewhere.
Check out this witching hour right here. We have a spider, a screaming man, and the spider has a skull for a head. Look at that.
Well, here's also another, Bronze Age horror book with a really cool cover, going for almost $2,000, $1,800.
That's a 9.8 1970s book right there. That's crazy. Okay. Hey, first appearance of Moon Knight, getting some attention. Are we looking at another Moon Knight series on Disney Plus coming up? Is that what's happening?
I hope not, but we'll see what happens. I like that All-Star Comics. That one's really cool. The one to the left of Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
That's the first Power Girl. That's a $1,800 for a 9.8. It's not bad, because I love Power Girl and her boob window so much. She's such a good character. I could see her popping up in a movie sooner or later for sure.
Popping up or popping out? Okay. Check out this. Caliber presents right here. This is the first appearance of the Crow, his cameo appearance in a side story. You would never know it by looking at this cover that this is an important book to find. Very hard to find also.
Yeah.
That's $1,500 for a 9.8. And we got first appearance of Molten Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 28.
It's a hard book to find in any good condition, because it's
right, with the
black cover, dude. Yeah.
I really like the use of negative space. Not to clown on Laura and Marty for that negative space conversation from a couple weeks ago, but I really like this kind of thing where you have the black background, the black foreground, the black suit, and everything, and I dig it. It's pretty cool. Is this first Red Sonja? First cover of Red Sonja, Conan number 24. That's a 9.8 that sold. The 1973 9.8 sold for $1,300. My favorite Neil Adams cover, my favorite Batman cover for Neil Adams. This is it right here. 227.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
So is it the 232 also over there? That one's great too.
Yep. And we talk about those ones all the time.
Yeah.
This Strange Tales, first appearance of Doctor Strange, the Strange Tales number 110, the CGC 3.0 sold for $1,100.
Let's be real. It's also the first appearance of Paste Pop Pete, and that's why people care.
Yeah, sure. Swamp
That
Thing
Absolute
number...
Batman annual, that Daniel Warren Johnson book is crazy. That's $1,000 for that book, man.
Well, this is the black and white limited to 1,000.
Yeah, that's the exclusive through his art dealer. Yeah,
I really like the Absolute Batman story. I'm going to be sad when they wrap it up because they're wrapping up the. I don't know. Are they going to wrap up the Awesome universe because it's Darkseid's universe with what's going on with DCKO right now?
I don't know, because Snyder says that he has Absolute Batman mapped out to issue 50.
Okay.
So we got some time before anything. He says he has an end in mind for it, but it just keeps getting pushed back because they keep doing more and more and more with it because it's a great series and people love it, and you don't want to take it away when somebody loves it. Marvel and Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. Man, Married with Kids Peter Parker just cannot catch a break. My goodness.
Midlife Crisis Peter Parker, man.
Another Neil Adams cover here in Batman and Robin number 234.
First Silver Age Two-Faced.
Yeah.
Which is, apparently they cast homeboy that plays Winter Soldier is apparently being cast as Harvey Dent in the new
Really?
Batman. Yeah. That's the big rumor that's been floating around for a while.
Huh.
I don't believe it until I see it for sure, but that's kind of been like, that's someone that's caught on, has been, showing up everywhere.
Interesting. Look at this old Weird Mysteries number 1, 1952 CGC 5.0 sold for $850.
That stuff's great. That's just eerie. Is that a blonde in a no? Not a blonde in a red dress.
It's a redhead in the red lingerie.
It's a redhead in a nightie.
Look at the zombie. You can see where his eyes are going.
Oh yeah.
My eyes are up here, zombie.
My brains are up here.
First appearance of Bullseye, Daredevil 131, Commanding a Premium. Look at this Forever people right here. This is first appearance of Darkseid. This is clearly, in my mind, at least, because of the DCKO stuff going on. Darkseid has never been more important to the DC storyline.
Well, that, and then there's also the Mr. Miracle animated show that's in works.
Yep.
I mean, Darkseid is the big bad for all of DC, more or less. And this is Jack Kirby doing his Fourth World. There's a bunch of new characters in this book. There's so much in this whole Fourth World thing. I could go on and on forever for. Jack Kirby drew Superman and they didn't like his face, so they got somebody else to redo every face of Superman that he drew. Darkseid is in like 3 other comic books before this one, but they call this one the first appearance. It's another one of those weird cameo first appearance.
It's one of those circumstances.
Melding things. And for some reason, with DC Comics, the cameos are worth more than first appearances are. It's weird. I don't know how that works. And then with Marvel, it's the opposite.
I really like this Clayton Crane Venom with the American flag. I think that's pretty cool. I would buy this. I don't think I'd pay $800, but I would definitely pick it up.
No. Give me I'll take that. It doesn't have to be the Virgin. Give me the one with the trade dress, and that'd be cool.
It's absolutely. This is first full page ad for Mad number 1. That is interesting. So Weird Science number 16, from 1952, CGC 7.0 sold for $800. and it's the first appearance of. It contains a full page ad for Mad number 1.
Yeah.
And then Batman Beyond, awesome Bruce Timm cover, one of my favorite Batman animated series. Well, I like all of them. So
I have a 9.4 of that.
Do you?
But it's newsstand.
Oh well, I mean, wow, good stuff there. Master of Kung Fu, the first appearance of Shang-Chi. Do you think that's related to the rumors that Shang-Chi is going to have a major role in Avengers Doomsday?
I think so, because the actor did say he's back in it and stuff. I don't know how much of a role he's playing in it, but all those characters, I think all their first appearances will start creeping back up a little bit again. Now, I don't think there's gonna be anything crazy. Like this isn't COVID time or anything, but I think there's gonna be some more interest in those characters. We'll see, because I also think a lot of people are kind of tired of the Marvel films and aren't liking them a lot. So we'll see how that kind of pans out too. If they're willing to pay more money for first appearances for these characters.
I just hope they don't do a reboot. I hate it. I hate the reboots. I like the established story. There's Scotty Young, second print black and white of this absolute Batman number 1. This is insane to me. This sale is insane to me because it's the second print. It's a Scotty Young, the color version of this. I don't know what it sells for. Let's just see here.
So many covers for that number 1.
So many covers. I have
so many covers, but it's still like a $200 book, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I know I've said this a couple times. Yeah. So this is a little surprising to me. I had no idea this was a $222 for the Scotty Young one. I have it. I may need to sell it.
I know somebody that's interested, Chris. I know somebody that wants one. Not me, but I have a friend.
All right. The second print of this selling for $750 is wild. It makes me wonder if this one is undervalued. Anyway, I've got 3 copies of number 1, including a 9.8. So I've been on the fence. I think I need to list them, get the money while the money's good, kind of thing. Because I'm
at least have one, keep one, I guess.
Yeah, I'll keep one.
I'm gonna sell mine, but man, I love that series so much, man. I don't know if I'm gonna sell them, but still.
Yeah. Well, when it really comes down to it, I'm a dirty flipper. So flippers got to flip.
Yeah.
First appearance of Demon. This may be sacrilegious, but I've never liked the Demon character. I could really care less about him. As a matter of fact, I kind of avoid him on purpose. But
yeah, you're right, Chris. That is sacrilegious.
Okay.
That's a 9.6 for $600 is not bad for that 1970s Jack Kirby book.
I love Jack Kirby though. I will say that.
I'm gonna see more with the Demon. They're gonna bring out a new series with him pretty soon in this next level initiative from DC. But I really hope I could see him being a character that they do in the James Gunn universe. He just seems to be like that obscure kind of character that he likes to do movies about, or at least put him in a movie.
Hard to read, like the old Thor, right? I can't.
Oh, because of the whole like thy and them, and
and
he speaks in riddles, not riddle, but in rhyme.
Don't like it.
Yeah. There's really not like, I mean, you can't really point to like here's the Demon like story you need to read other than like the Garth Ennis stuff or something like the Lobo crossovers, which I'm sure you're gonna double hate when it's Lobo and Demon. I'm sure I'm sure that's just like. That's just dirt and glass in a sandwich for you.
Pretty much, yeah. Just an absolute concentration of peanut butter and other things I'm allergic to. We got look at this. Mad number 2 is the first time I've seen Mad number 2 on the Shaker Report.
That's rad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and earlier we saw an ad of comic book, an ad for Mad number 1.
But we've seen Mad number 1 on this list before a couple times.
But Mad number 1 is one of those just like iconic, hard to find, books.
What is this?
the ash can or
ash can?
Bad Rock Wolverine from Chap Yap.
My goodness.
$575 for a 9.8. Woo.
Back in the 90s, these ash cans were literally just printer paper. Just printer paper folded in half with a staple in the middle.
It's just like construction paper or something, these colored ones.
Yeah, it's just like, not even really cardstock. Just
that stuff is cool. I love that early Image stuff.
Hey, look, first appearance of Wolverine.
Absolutely.
We got first appearance of Kitty Pryde. I hear that Kitty Pryde is going to be one of the featured characters in the upcoming X series that Marvel's going to come out with.
The comic book, or you're talking about the movies?
The movies.
Oh.
Yeah. So that could be related to that. We got first appearance of Thanos and Drax the Destroyer. Is Thanos...
and the first appearance of the Blood Brothers. What's going on? Come on.
Okay.
It's the Blood Brothers. Nobody cares about Thanos or Drax anymore. It's the first appearance of the Blood Brothers.
We always see early Ghost Riders on this list, and we've talked about it a couple times, folks. Copper and Bronze Ghost Rider books, and even like the late 90s Ghost Rider books. If you find them, put them up on eBay because they sell regularly. Gabe and I have talked multiple times throughout the last couple of weeks about just, the quantity of Ghost Rider books that we're selling because it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Last week, man, I told you I sold like 35 copies of Ghost Rider from that tiny catch. It's like the last like from issue like 55 to like 94. Like those ones are just can't keep them around. Everybody wants them. It's cool.
This is so cool. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and if I could get a copy of this, I would find it amazing. I would love a copy of this, but apparently I can pick up a raw for about $25. So I'm gonna just open this in a new tab.
You got to look, man. That's $25 is not. That's doable, especially for a Beatles comic. That's cool.
Absolutely. I'm gonna jump all over that first chance I get. So right after the show, I'll be dropping $25 to get a copy of that because I really like this cover. It's pretty cool. 9.8 sold for $500 just recently. Let's see what else we got.
I'm happy with a $25 VF copy.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some sketch bag variants popping up, both the Doom one and the Mysterio one. Those are pretty cool.
I doubt these things are near mint plus or near mint because we all know what happened with the blind bag situation on these.
Yeah, they were battered pretty badly. Look at this 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man. I have this one not in a 9.8, but $488. That's pretty crazy. It's not even a key. It's just Hammerhead battering
versus the Spider-Mobile.
Yeah. And of course, you have second appearance of Gambit, first cover appearance.
That's first appearance of Gambit. I don't care what anybody says. That's the first appearance. That's the first appearance.
I have the newsstand of this. I don't have the, but it's pretty cool.
I got a really, really nice copy of the direct edition like that. It's probably like a 9.6.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
that's when I first started reading X-Men comics. It was around like the start of Gambit. Yeah. All right.
Well, that's what's shaking, man. That's your shaker report.
We made it. We made it all the way through. Again, everybody, thanks so much, everybody, for coming in this week. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to hang out with us. So we're all sharing an experience together. Shout out to Lando. Shout out to Travis. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Marty. All the other members of the Cover Price team here on YouTube who's been just holding it down, getting the channel up to 6,000 subscribers. So thank you to everybody who's been watching and subscribing. Make sure, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share. If you have Cover Price on Instagram or X, or I don't know if they're on TikTok, but if you have them on social media, we post clips from these shows on there, so make sure you like those and you share those around as well. Just give us a little bit of a little bit more hype and fun out there.
And we're on Instagram.
We love to have more people here.
Yeah, we're on Instagram too. You can hit us up. Gabe is at Gabe Loves 90s Comics. I'm at Dr. Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
More than happy to talk comics with you guys. That's why we do the show. Hopefully next week it'll be more than just you and me, Gabe.
Hey, if it's not, man, I love hanging out with you, talking comics. Dude. It works.
Absolutely.
It works.
It's just a little bit easier when you don't have to read almost all of them.
Cover Price is in the house saying that they're giving away Flops variant set.
Okay, well, if you guys want to know more about that, hit the bell icon and check out Cover Price Instagram, which you can see there. Check it out because you can get a Flops variant set from Cover Price. And if you liked what you saw when we were going through the Shaker Report, you can get a free 1-week trial on Cover Price. And then annual subscriptions like less than $8 a month, something like that. Definitely worth it. I have 12,000 comics in my collection. It just every time I add to my personal collection, I register it on Cover Price. It makes it really easy to know what's good and what I don't need to waste my time on. So.
Yep, and that stud Flops is in the chat, everybody. So don't forget to enter the competition. He's saying so.
Okay.
Hell yeah!
All right,
let's do it, everybody. Hey, good luck. You know, hey, DJ Robot wishes you could win one of those. There's only one way you can do it. You know, you can't win if you don't enter. So let's go. And follow Shallow Press. Follow Flops, man. Awesome books, awesome covers coming out recently. New hot rising star, I think. Everybody's been picking up his stuff and loving it. So let's roll. With that said, let's get out of here, Chris. Any final words, bro?
Be safe this weekend. Plan ahead for the snow. Don't get caught out in it, please. We love our audience, and we want you guys to make it through this huge snowstorm safely. So, best of luck, everybody, and stay safe.
Excellent. Everybody, have a great day. Tim, we miss you. Peace out.
For the entire crew, this is Tebow saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.